All right, you guys, this is Joseph Mabel in the morning. And of course, you hear in the background WTPS at its finest. Just want to make a few announcements. Of course, Monday we were always the hardest, but we just want to send a shout out to all those Bear fans and Fighting Line fans, of course. Just so shy of losing, but that goes to show you how aware things need to be. I did look over some of the things, of course. There were some mistakes on both teams' behalf, and those mistakes I'm sure will be taken care of. However, if you are a baseball fan, still you have the Dodgers and you have the Red Sox in the World Series. Who cares, right? Not the Chicago Cubs. And then, of course, the elections is coming up. Hope you guys get out there and vote. It's important. Your voice does matter. Also, if you are a Chicagoan, just sending our condolences out on top of condolences. We all know it's gang retaliation on the South Side. There was a shooting. 6 people were shot and wounded. The assailants are very much in captive, so we'll learn more and more about that as that progresses. Just like the Florida shooting that happened Sunday at the Jacksonville Jaguars game against the Dallas Cowboys. So let's get into some actual news and Joseph Mills and some music. And Joseph Mills will be back with you in a second. Let's finish up this Patti LaBelle, Somebody Loves You. Then we'll get into America, Channel 7, some highlights. And stay tuned because our local weather and news and traffic will be coming up next.
It's expected to make landfall today north of Puerto Vallarta and then cut northeast across Mexico into central Texas, where 4 inches of rain are expected. Let's take a closer look now at your forecast for this Tuesday. Good morning. Willa, a Category 4 hurricane, will hit the Mexican coast, lose a lot of its strength very quickly as it moves across the mountain. The mountains will literally kind of eat this thing away, but not enough before the unsettled weather reaches Texas. Heavy showers will hit us on Tuesday, and then right where we don't need more rain, look for flash flooding, the potential of washouts and travel delays throughout New Mexico going into Texas with travel delays, and then more of that rain will swing right into the heart of Texas Wednesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Paul Williams. It's an engineering marvel. Coming up, the world's longest sea bridge opening today.
But first, the questions surrounding the shocking murder of a 61-year-old American woman staying at Club Med in Turks and Caicos.
And later, we'll cheer you up with one little boy and his Ghostbusters dream come true.
Miss Corex don't keep regular business hours. Neither do we. Don't wait till tomorrow morning to get the help you need now. If landlord or injury attorneys, we're available to take your call and get you the help you need right now. Call 222-2222.
I have been living with endometriosis for 20 years. I was healthy, except for the MS, scared to death with the MS. I was having to make choices between groceries or the medication I needed. When people like Erica Harrell threaten Obamacare, I can't believe how little she values people like me with pre-existing conditions. The threat of Obamacare being taken away is one of those sort of bad dreams. So when I hear that politicians like Erica Harrell wanting to repeal Obamacare, I get angry and honestly get scared. I can't vote for Erica Harrell. Absolutely not. Hi. You're picking up your SUV, right?
Yes.
Well, we not only fixed the fence, but we added a few things. Built in 4G Wi-Fi, upper CarPlay compatibility, and a 7-inch diagonal touchscreen. We also painted it.
Whoa, this is
It's a Chevy. Right, this is the Chevy Equinox. All those features come standard. It's pretty much everything mine's not.
What more could you want?
Get 13% below MSRP on all 2019 Chevy Equinox LT models, or 16% below MSRP when you finance with GM Financial. That's over $4,800 on this Equinox.
This is what $1 million lie sounds like.
I do not take any money from Michael Madigan.
Pages and pages of state election records say differently. Moylan has received more than $981,000 from Mike Madigan. Now you know why Marty Moylan can't contain his enthusiasm for Mike Madigan. If Marty Moylan lies to you and cheerleads for Mike Madigan, who do you think he serves?
Because companies don't keep regular business hours. They need to wait. Don't wait till tomorrow morning to get the help you need now. If Glenn or Andrea attorneys, we're available to take your call, get you the help you need right now.
Call 222-2222.
Morning Hill King, in her first TV interview, opens up about her personal struggles and how she's reconnecting with her dad, Rob Schneider. Then Elle performs live this morning on GMA.
We're back with this frightening scene at a Fox TV station in Washington, D.C. The security guard there shooting that man trying to break into the station after smashing those doors. Sources say the man has a history of mental illness and reportedly threatened Fox executives in the past. He's now in stable condition.
In Oklahoma, police released video of a suspected car thief who slipped out of her handcuffs and then took off and stole the officer's patrol car. She was eventually captured. She's spending 3 years in prison. A New York woman's death in the Caribbean is now a murder mystery. Police in Turks and Caicos are investigating the death of Marie Kunla. Her body was found last Tuesday in some bushes near a Club Med resort where she'd been staying. The discovery came a day after the 61-year-old was reported missing. Kunla was traveling with 2 other women. They're okay, and her family is not commenting on the circumstances surrounding her death.
Another investigation in the tropics, this time in Costa Rica, and that deadly bachelor party tragedy. Inspectors raided the offices of the company that ran a rafting trip on a river swollen by days of heavy rain. 4 American tourists, part of that bachelor party, and their guide were killed in the rapids. A flood advisory was posted on that day. One survivor tells ABC News, "All of us struggled to stay above water, swallowing lots of it on the way down as our bodies ricocheted against the rocks and water while struggling to survive."
That is awful. A bridge touted as an engineering marvel is now open for business. China's president did the honors today, opening the 34-mile bridge that connects Hong Kong to the mainland. The 6-lane span is the world's largest sea crossing bridge and includes an underwater tunnel. The project cost $20 billion and took 9 years to complete.
There's a new leader in social media, at least among teenagers. Instagram has replaced Snapchat as the most used social media platform among teens. According to a survey which also shows Instagram's parent company, Facebook, was among young people as well. But gaining among the 70-plus crowd, like our grandparents are loving the
They're all
Facebook.
over
They're
Facebook,
discovering
sharing
it.
everything. Coming up, why Price is Right host Bob Barker had to be rushed to the hospital.
And also, head of surfer explains how he confronted a shark that bit his arm and wouldn't let go.
And up next, a possible strategy to help you win tonight's $1.6 billion Mega Millions jackpot.
For 129 years, the holidays have started with the flavor of McCormick, making memories around the table, bringing families together, with aromas that awaken our emotions and tastes like cinnamon dips on our tongue. Because it's the recipes we pass on to the next generation that are the reason there's really no flavor like home. And that's where you'll find the flavor of McCormick.
Plaque psoriasis can be relentless. Tremfya is for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. With Tremfya, you can get clearer and stay clearer. In fact, most patients who saw 90% clear skin at 28 weeks stayed clearer through 48 weeks. Tremfya works better than Humira at providing clearer skin, and more patients were symptom-free with Tremfya.
Tremfya may lower your ability to fight infections and may increase your risk of infections. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or have symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Before starting Tremfya, tell your doctor if you plan to or have recently received a vaccine.
Ask your doctor about Tremfya, because you deserve to stay clearer. Janssen wants to help you explore cost support options.
Unstop right there. I'm about to pop a cap of fresh and not wash. But Unstoppable in wash scent boosted by down. Oh, it's so fresh. And it's going to last from wash to wear for up to 12 weeks. Unstoppables by Downy.
It's about time they gave left and right Twix their own packs. They got about as much in common as you a mortician and me an undertaker.
Or you a janitor and me a custodian.
Or you a ghost and me a spirit.
Left and right Twix packs. It's time to decide. New TheraFlu Power Pods, the cold and flu fighting machine put in your machine. Press the button to brew up powerful relief to defeat your toughest cold and flu symptoms fast. New TheraFlu Power Pods. Press, sip, relief.
We're back now with a dramatic moment. This building collapsed during a fire in Dover, New Jersey. Look at that there. 2 businesses and the apartments above them were destroyed in the fire, but thankfully, no one was injured.
In San Francisco, several people were safely rescued from this fire, which reportedly started on the 12th floor of an apartment building. All of it playing out in the financial district. 2 people over age 100 were among those saved.
We turn now to the jumbo jackpot for tonight's Mega Millions drawing. $1.6 billion is up for grabs.
And it does seem that everyone has an idea on how they would spend that money. With a record jackpot,
I'm going to make more than what I spend.
excruciating lines,
$1 million's pretty good for me.
and sky-high hopes,
I'm holding the lucky money right here.
Mega Millions has many with mega dreams this morning. And John Crow, $1.6 billion. The man who calls out those 6 life-changing numbers is just as excited as his viewers for today's $1.6 billion drawing. I can't imagine how exciting it is for folks holding their ticket, watching this drawing live to see if they're a billionaire. While the prize is life-changing, having it all can have its downsides. One study estimates 1/3 of lottery winners eventually go bankrupt. With the odds of winning at just 1 in 302 million, many will never get the chance to find out. Some balls, like the number 1, are drawn slightly more often, but history proves there are no true lucky numbers. You can try a ticket for every possible combination if you have about $605 million to spare. But for most of us, that's not an option. The next best thing? An office pool. That tactic paid off for Lori Reeder's office back in 2013.
And lo and behold, my husband looked it up and he said, babe, I think it's $1 million.
The team of Florida realtors winning big, donating in their community, and even letting a new employee share in the winnings. Now, 5 years later, they're pressing their luck again.
Buy some tickets, see if we get the 1.6 million with a B.
It's easy to say once you've already won. The take-home jackpot after taxes is about $904 million, which means you could technically turn a profit if you were able to buy a ticket for every single number combination.
A man in Australia says he survived an attack by a bull shark by punching it. 50-year-old Paul Kenny was body surfing at a nudist beach when he headbutted the shark. The shark then bit Paul's arm and wouldn't let go, so Paul decked the shark. He explains what happened as he was bitten and other people ran to help.
And I just started punching it until it let go, and then started getting back out the surface because I couldn't hold my arm because there was blood everywhere. And then hoping it wasn't come back.
He came back into the beach, screaming out for help. So I run down with a couple of other boys, bleeding on the bicep, bleeding on the leg, wrapped him up with some bandages and called low.
So 000 is 911 in Australia. That attack comes 1 month after 2 other attacks at nearby beaches.
Take my arm. It happens. For Price is Right host, Bob Barker is reportedly in the hospital this morning. His business manager tells USA Today Barker was suffering from an extreme back pain, but is alert and will hopefully be back home soon. Barker is 94 years old.
Pro wrestling star Roman Reigns has announced he's battling leukemia for a second time. The 33-year-old is leaving wrestling while he receives treatment. Reigns was diagnosed with the disease 11 years ago.
And Monday Night Football, the Atlanta Falcons quarterback there, Matt Ryan, opening the scoring with that long touchdown pass. He threw nearly 400 yards against the Giants. Atlanta won, but at least the Giants made it close, 23-20.
All right, not bad. Up next in the Pulse, Prince Harry tries on a Speedo.
But first, a new clue that Uber may be getting into the food delivery business.
And the discovery at a Washington, D.C. museum revealing that even experts may have been fooled.
With uncontrolled moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, you never know how your skin will look. And it can feel like no matter what you do, you're itching all the time. But even though you see and feel your eczema on the surface of your skin, an overly sensitive immune system deep within your skin might actually be causing your eczema. So help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is not a steroid, and it continuously treats your eczema even when you can't see it. At 16 weeks, more than 1 in 3 patients saw clear or almost clear skin, and patients saw a significant reduction in itch. Do not use if you are allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems, including eye pain or changes in vision. If you have asthma and are taking asthma medicines, do not change or stop your asthma medicine without talking to your doctor. Help heal your skin from within. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
You know, I'm really particular about what my family eats. Things like blue, yellow, and red dyes, not for this family. So when it comes to this big baby, I give him blue Sizzlers, not bacon strips.
While they're both healthy treats, Blue Sizzlers is made with none of the synthetic colors that are in bacon strips. So try Blue Sizzlers today. JT Wentworth, how can I help you get cash?
I want to pay off my debt and move into my own place, but I need cash now to do it.
Do you get regular payments from an insurance company?
Yes, monthly, but the thing is, it's my money and I need it now.
Right. In exchange for some or all of your future payments, we give you a lump sum of cash now. Call now and you'll also get $25 for receiving a quote. Call 1-800-741-5161 now.
Thanks, JT Wentworth.
Your digestive system has billions of bacteria, but life can throw them off balance. Realign yourself with Align Probiotic. And try new Align gummies with prebiotics and probiotics to help support digestive health.
This morning, Elle Kane, in her first TV interview, opens up about her personal struggles and how she's reconnecting with her dad, Rob Schneider. Then Elle performs live this morning on GMA.
Time to check the pulse, and we're going to start with some prized biblical artifacts exposed as fakes.
Fakes? The Museum of the Bible in Washington says 5 of its writings believed to be part of the historic Dead Sea Scrolls are not authentic and will no longer be displayed. German scholars who tested the fragments say they weren't consistent with ancient origins. A big piece of ice that looks too good to be true is sparking a lot of questions.
Yeah, NASA published this picture of an iceberg that looks like a perfect rectangle. Wow. Scientists say it broke off an ice shelf in the Antarctic, but some think the perfect look is yet another sign of extraterrestrial life at the South Pole. Some believing it's evidence that alien life forms have once inhabited Antarctica. I'm sold on that.
Yep.
Yeah. Uber may be delivering food by drone sooner than you think.
The Wall Street Journal spotted a job posting on Uber's website. Under description, it said to make delivery drones commercially operational in multiple markets by 2021. The job would be under the company's Uber Eats division. The posting has since been taken down. In May, Uber's CEO discussed the company's ambition to deliver food by drone, saying, quote, "We need flying burgers."
Don't we all?
Word to that. And Prince Harry just created the moment of his tour down under. He was hanging out with Invictus Games athletes who gave him a Speedo bathing suit as a gift.
And he didn't disappoint. You see him there, putting on that Speedo right over his pants. Before putting it on, though, he says, "It's so wrong, but it's wonderful." Looking good in the Speedo. So this tour continues through Halloween. They're in Fiji right now. They're just conquering all former Commonwealth countries.
And as long as there's a Speedo involved, I mean,
why not?
I've always looked forward to what's next. And I'm still going for my best, even though I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, not caused by a heart valve problem. So if there's a better treatment than warfarin,
I'm up for that. Eliquis. Eliquis is proven to reduce stroke risk better than morphine. Plus, has significantly less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis is FDA approved and has both. So what's next? See these guys.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Eliquis, the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner. Ask your doctor if Eliquis is what's next for you.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. Ensure, now up to 30 grams of protein for strength and energy.
Are you taking a tissue test? Yep. And my teeth are yellow. Time for white strips.
Crest Glamorous White Strips are the only ADA accepted whitening strips proven to be safe and effective. And they whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste. Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaque. For psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla.
Up next here on the news this morning, gunfire shuts down I-57 for hours. We'll get the latest on the condition of the 3 people who were shot.
Plus, new findings being revealed right now in the investigation into the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
And why riders on Metro's BNSF line get ready for delays later on this week.
All the news plus weather and traffic.
Eyewitness News on a Tuesday.
Look at Senator Donnelly's record, opposed to Judge Kavanaugh for the Iran nuclear deal, outsourcing Hoosier germs to Mexico. No wonder Donnelly said,
We're going to work together to elect Hillary Clinton, the next president of the United States.
Hillary for president, and Donnelly says he's for common sense. Sorry, Senator, you're just not one of us. You're one of them.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Save on Castlework architectural shingles with a 42-inch super wide format so they install faster. Only $17.69 per bundle after sale price and 11% off. Improve your home's curb appeal with this ideal 9x7 white designer series garage door. Only $577.61 after sale price and 11% off. Stop waiting and start saving with 11% off everything. Now at Menards. Save big money in Menards.
Check out my competition's dining room set. Table, 4 chairs, bench, and one crazy price, $24.98. I mean, what universe are they living in? Now check out my sanctuary dining set. 112-inch trestle table with 2 removable leaves, 4 comfy Bobopedic cushion chairs, plus a bench with extra storage. The whole shebang only $11.99. Hey, go back to that unrealistically overpriced universe you came from.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Shop in store or at mybobs.com.
At Micron's company, I sold RV parts and towing parts. A few months ago, I got really sick and ended up in the hospital. So while I was in the hospital, Mike Bond fired me and backdated my termination. So my insurance had been canceled. I was devastated. I was stuck with a $30,000 bill, left with nothing. There is no such thing as health care when something happens to you and it gets taken away. And that's what Micron's company did.
I'm Joe Donnelly, and I approve this message.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 4:30 starts right now.
All right, let's do Tuesday, shall we? Yeah, I look out there right now, 44 degrees. You can see a little bit of wind. We'll probably pick that up a little bit later on today. Got some sunshine, though. We'll get more on that forecast here in just a bit. First, good morning, everybody. What's going on? I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Tanya Ravitch. Looking forward to a really pleasant day.
Yeah.
So long as you don't mind cool weather. Seasonal temperatures, right? Let's start with your ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Here's Tracy Butler.
Good morning. We are starting off with temperatures around 40 degrees in many spots, some in the mid-40s this morning, 45 degrees right now in Oak Grove. But you get out to any place, you get a 33, 36 degrees right now. Lake Geneva over in Westville at 50 degrees. So some of our temperatures are falling behind the cold front that went through. Now, as we look at the day ahead, we'll see those temperatures rebounding only to the low 50s, however. One much more in the day ahead coming up for us. That everybody is well aware, I-57 is open. It was reopened at about 1 o'clock this morning, but we'll get to that breaking news in just a little bit. As far as what's happening now, we've got overnight road work outbound on the Kennedy causing delays between Harlem and Cumberland. And we also have overnight road work northbound on the Tri-State. A couple of the ORT lanes into the 83rd Street cash box are closed until 4:30. They should have everything reopened in just a few minutes. But we are seeing a little bit of a slowdown at that location. We'll have another look in less than 10. Tanya Terrell.
I'll ask more about what happened on I-57. A person shot on the interstate has died. 2 others are in the hospital right now. They were shot on inbound I-57 near 123rd Street in Park last night. Jessica D'Onofrio is live for us the latest on their conditions and on the search for the gunman. Jessica.
Well, Tanya, all lanes of I-57 have reopened.
All right, just checking on my mom, you guys. But however, you hear what's going on. It's so much. It's shooting. You have to reach out to your loved ones to make sure they're okay. It's crazy.
After a car came under fire and then crashed last night at around 8 p.m. near South Suburban Calumet Park. And
2 hurt. Expressway shooting. 1 killed.
State police combing the scene for evidence while traffic was diverted. Troopers say 3 men were taken to local hospitals. 1 died. 1 is in critical condition this morning, and 1 is in serious condition at Christ Hospital. We also saw 1 man who appeared to be uninjured taken out of the car in handcuffs. Troopers have not told us why. Now, this shooting was the second to close I-57 since last week. On Friday, a shooting led to the closure of all northbound lanes. At least a dozen shell casings littered the road as state police shut down nearly 10 blocks of the expressway to investigate a report of shots fired near the West Pullman neighborhood on the far south side. Meanwhile, it is unclear what led up to this shooting last night. Troopers say it's all still under investigation. Live near Calumet Park, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks. 432 arson is suspected at a suburban mansion once owned by NBA superstar Dwayne Wade. The home in South Suburban Dalton caught fire yesterday afternoon. Police are holding a person of interest right now. That person was taken into custody right after that fire started. The home had recently been sold. Fire officials say some sort of accelerant or fuel could be smelled at that fire. There are new details coming in this morning about Mayor Emanuel's budget proposal. Today, he will announce plans to spend $1.1 million to help homeless people. That money would assist people living in encampments and families transitioning in the Chicago Housing Authority housing. The mayor's office says that the homeless population is down about 4% over last year to roughly 5,400 people.
Right now, Turkey's president is addressing Parliament in Istanbul about the investigation surrounding Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Once again, Saudi Arabia appears to be changing its story of what happened to him after he walked into the Saudi consulate in Turkey. ABC's Molly Hunter has the latest developments.
This morning, the Saudis' explanation of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi's death has changed again. It comes after CNN aired what appears to be surveillance video, described to them by a Turkish source as one of the key suspects dressed in Khashoggi's clothes, even apparently a fake beard. A Saudi official now claims the plan was to bring Khashoggi to a safe house for 2 days if he refused to return to Saudi Arabia, and then use the body double so they could sneak out the real Khashoggi. The Saudis at first claimed Khashoggi left the consulate alive. It took 17 days for them to admit they killed him, first saying in a fistfight, and later saying he died in a chokehold. And overnight, ABC News learned CIA Director Gina Haspel has now traveled to Turkey, and Monday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin actually met with the Crown Prince in Riyadh. Mnuchin told reporters it's too soon to discuss sanctions against Saudi Arabia over Khashoggi's death. And meanwhile, President Trump is offering new skepticism about the Saudis' explanation.
I am not satisfied with what I've heard.
The president's son-in-law and senior advisor, Jared Kushner, says the administration is still looking at the situation with eyes wide open.
We'll determine which facts are credible.
Interesting to hear Kushner there. He says he's been advising his friend, the Crown Prince, to be as transparent as possible, but he wouldn't reveal what he's been advising the president. Molly Hunter, ABC News, Istanbul.
We could learn today whether criminal charges will be filed against Indiana's Attorney General. A special prosecutor has been investigating sexual misconduct allegations against Curtis Hill and is making an announcement this morning. This comes after a months-long investigation by the state's inspector general. Hill is accused of groping 4 women, including a state representative, at an Indianapolis bar. He denies the allegations and has refused to resign.
4:35, a man has been charged with murder in connection with the deadly shooting of a 2-year-old boy. Police say Alexander Varela didn't pull the trigger, but he did allegedly order a fellow gang member to open fire earlier this month in the Hermosa neighborhood. Happened right after an argument at a family birthday party. One of the bullets killed 2-year-old Julian Gonzalez. He is the city's youngest victim of gun violence this year. An 18-year-old who tried to protect the boy was also shot, but survived.
A local student has been charged with threatening a school shooting on social media. Lombard police say Jairus Castillo posted a threat on Instagram that was directed at his school, Lombard East. It was a photo of somebody else holding an AR-15 style rifle with a caption about a school shooting. 18-year-old Castillo is charged with a felony count of disorderly conduct.
Evanston's proposed 2019 budget is calling for layoffs that could affect its police and fire departments. Among the proposed cuts is to close one of Evanston's 5 fire stations. There are also plans to eliminate 17 fire and police department jobs, and more fee increases are being suggested to help fill a $7.4 million budget deficit.
A woman running to become the next mayor of Chicago is getting financial support from Kanye West. Just last week, Chance the Rapper endorsed Amaya Enya, who's the director of Boston's Chamber of Commerce. Now Kanye has paid her campaign $73,000 debt to the Illinois State Board of Elections. The election is 2 weeks from today. You can learn about the races and all the candidates. There are a lot of them in some races at our ABC7 voter guide. You can find it on our website and on our news app.
4:37, people are snatching up those tickets for tonight's Mega Millions jackpot drawing. That jackpot is now up to, get this, $1.6 billion.
Show me the money.
Right, makes it the largest lottery prize in U.S. history. The odds of winning the Mega Millions jackpot, 1 in 302.5 million. But who cares about that? If you do win tonight, don't be caught off guard. $1.6 billion is what you would get over 29 years. Most people take the cash option, which is only $904 million for Mega Millions.
We'll figure out what to do with that.
Yeah, tell me about it, right? I'll take it any way I can get it.
What you're saying, though, is there's a chance.
Right. There you go. We'll be talking about that throughout the morning. Also going to be talking about the weather throughout the day today, Tracy.
Pretty quiet,
Right?
tranquil. I mean,
Sunshine.
we will see sunshine. Yesterday was just glorious.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up in the mid-60s here yesterday, so we finally snuck in an above-average day around here yesterday. But our topics for today, it's not that cold out compared to mornings past. We're starting off with most of our temperatures right now in the 40s. We'll see plenty of sunshine, although we will have breezy north winds here today. And lows tonight expected to drop back into the 30s. So what is average this time of the year? Average high is 60, average low is 41. So far, low out at O'Hare has only been 44 degrees. Records will stay in the books, 85 on the high side, 20 degrees on the low side. Right now, 44 degrees. We do have a west-northwest wind at about 9 miles per hour, giving us a wind chill of about 39 degrees right now. Going around the board, 43 in Kenosha, 39 degrees currently in Cary. Get out to Genoa, it's 38 degrees there, 44 now in Lisle, 43 Flossmoor, 38 degrees in Manteno, 45 degrees in Manuka, 40 degrees in Cedar Lake, and it is 46 over in Wanata. Now, as we look at where the numbers go today, I still think we'll drop several more degrees this morning before by noontime we're looking at those temperatures into the upper 40s. And then this afternoon, we max out in the low 50s coming our direction. As for 8 o'clock this evening, we're still holding in the 40s, and then tomorrow morning, we do wake up into the 30s, and tomorrow afternoon, we're back up around 50 degrees once again. Skies for us, beautiful. I mean, just a moonlit morning that we had, I know, when I was driving in this morning. But meanwhile, some of the big news around the country is going to be rain, additional rain coming into Texas. And unfortunately, it is coming from this hurricane. It's Hurricane Willa, very strong, powerful Category 4 hurricane that will be making landfall on mainland Mexico today. Already just producing very heavy rains. Looks like that heavy rain is eventually going to transition into Texas. A chilly start in some areas this morning. Clear skies, sun up at 7:13 this afternoon. We get breezy conditions at times. It will be mainly sunny. A beautiful day in store for us today. Cooler than yesterday, certainly. I think tomorrow we're looking at a little bit of a chilly breeze coming our direction. Roz?
Looking at calm conditions out there on the roadways, there's the Kennedy. Express lanes have been closed during the overnight hours for routine maintenance. Should reopen by 5 o'clock. We're not seeing any delays on the inbound side. We are, however, seeing delays on the outbound side, but that's because of overnight road work and some of those reduced speeds at that Westlake. It's pretty snug heading over there. That's the inbound side. Let's see what it looked like on the outbound side. It is slow from about the Nagel Curve on up to Cumberland. So that travel time is going to be elevated. We're also seeing some closed ramps, the Harlem entrance ramp and the Cumberland exit ramp. That's all part of that overnight road work that should be picked up by 5 o'clock. We are seeing some delays, not too badly right now. Northbound on the Tri-State, they've got the 2 right lanes closed right around the Lake Forest Oasis. Again, they are installing those bridge beams, and they have been doing those full closures or up to 15 minutes at a time. They've got one more scheduled to be happening right now, but I'm not seeing any big backup, so they may have wrapped that up early. Let's take a look at a couple of the travel times, like the outbound Kennedy, which is 25 minutes now heading out to O'Hare. Inbound is fine at 19 from O'Hare downtown. We do have a few delays at the south end of the inbound line with overnight road work. 17 minutes in, outbound is clear, and the Vision 4 travel time is elevated too. It's heading into Stony Island, 20 minutes from I-80 to 95th. No delays on I-57. Tanya Gillette. Oz at 4:42, still ahead. Metro tries to tackle 3 weeks of work in 3 days. What that means for commuters coming later this week.
And the new controversy at the Museum of the Bible, Washington, D.C. Here's today's Wisconsin Fall Color Conditions. For the full Fall Color Report, visit travelwisconsin.com.
Be kind with the news, your choice for Vote 2018.
Here is what we believe. When our state is focused on what matters, we create prosperity and well-being for all. That Illinois is better when we reward the hardworking middle class. That every child should have an equal opportunity to a great education. Because what we should be best at is growing things. Families, jobs, and our economy. There are people who still believe in Illinois, and we support Bruce Rauner for governor. Enjoy family and friends this holiday season at Copper Rock Steakhouse. Book a private dining room and make this a celebration to remember. 'Tis the season to party at Copper Rock Steakhouse in South Bend, Indiana, and New Buffalo, Michigan.
I met my dad at the ER, and when I walked into that room, he was laying in the fetal position, unresponsive. He just looked like he was about to die. It was not the dad that I saw before. At that moment, my dad needed for the state to honor him and serve him the way that he honored and served his country. Nothing was said about Legionnaires. While the state was sending back emails about PR and different things, my dad was dying.
Our team did exactly what they should have done, exactly when they should have done it.
My question to Governor Rauner is, if it were your parents who were living at that home, would you have handled it differently? Would the response time have been quicker? I looked up to my dad a lot, and I loved him. And whatever life he had left on this earth, it was his. And Governor Rauner was more interested in protecting his image than he was the heroes who served our country.
Hi. You're picking up your SUV, right? Yes. Well, we not only fixed the vents, but we added a few things. Built-in 4G Wi-Fi, CarPlay compatibility, and a 7-inch Magnum touchscreen. We also painted it.
Whoa, this is a dark car.
It's a Chevy. Right, this is the Chevy Equinox. All those features come standard.
It's pretty much everything mine's not.
What more could you want?
Get 13% below MSRP on all 2019 Chevy Equinox LT models, or 16% below MSRP when you finance with GM Financial. That's over $4,800 on this Equinox.
Live from Chicago, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 4:30 continues.
Police in Chicago Heights are looking for the hit-and-run driver who killed a woman walking on the side of a road. This happened near the intersection of Lincoln Highway and Cottage Grove on Sunday. Police say they found 35-year-old Vanessa Espinoza lying in a field just north of Lincoln after the crash. Family members say she was with her boyfriend at the time. He was not hurt. Espinoza had 4 children.
I love my cousin, and I was close to her. I love her dearly, and I know she had a bright future ahead of her.
Officers were able to find the vehicle involved, but they haven't found the driver.
Naperville has released results of a study on parking during big events. It looked at 1,500 spaces in the Central, Van Buren, and Water Street decks. Officials found that Naperville's MS Walk in May caused the largest spike in downtown parking. Chris Kendall Market reportedly caused a 10% increase in downtown parking garage use compared with typical use throughout the 20-day event. However, during Naperville's Rib Fest, 4.3% fewer people left the downtown garages. The city clerk says that's because organizers provide so many lots with shuttles. You'll need to plan ahead if you usually use Metro's BNSF line on the weekend, starting on Friday after 8 p.m. Crews will start replacing 18,000 railroad ties on the center track between Hinsdale and Aurora. As a result of this, some trains will be canceled, some will be rescheduled, others will be delayed. This is from Friday evening until Sunday evening. Metro is squeezing 3 weeks of track repairs into 3 days.
A major disappointment for history lovers. The Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. says at least 5 of its 16 Dead Sea Scrolls are fake. That's based on new testing by German-based scholars. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a set of ancient Jewish manuscripts first discovered in the mid-1940s. Most of the scrolls and fragments are tightly controlled by Israel. This is not the first controversy for the Museum of the Bible. They acquired thousands of smuggled artifacts looted from Iraq and elsewhere. Those were returned, and a $3 million fine was paid to the U.S. Justice Department.
446, the man behind a hugely popular book sharing project, has died. Todd Bowl of Wisconsin founded the Little Free Library. Maybe you've seen the dollhouse-like boxes, free books in your neighborhood.
I love those.
Yeah, Bowl built the first one back in 2009 as a tribute to his mother. That idea caught on quickly. There are now more than 75,000 registered Little Free Libraries worldwide. He died from cancer. Stewards of their libraries can honor his memory by placing a silver or white ribbon on their libraries.
Our condolences to his family, but what a legacy he leaves behind. Weather and traffic now, Tracy.
Good morning. Starting off with clear skies this morning. I mean, it has been a moonlit night around Chicago. As we take a look, 42 degrees in Plainfield, 42 in Hobart, it's 46 degrees Oak Park, 44 in Vernon Hills, and 43 right now in Monique. So our wearcast today, keep sunglasses handy, that's for sure. A jacket or sweatshirt this morning out the door, but this afternoon looks like temperatures are not going to go as high as they did around here yesterday. We'll probably top out low to mid 50s around the area here today, but at least we are going to have lots of sunshine. Now tomorrow we'll start off cooler, and it will end up just being cooler overall. I think at best tomorrow we hit highs at 50 at best. Ross? Things looking good on all of the expressways, including the Dan Ryan Bridge, moving at the posted speed. South end of the Dan Ryan inbound is a little snug right around 95th Street, but that's typical for this time in the morning. And then the only other delay that we're seeing as we look at the maps is on the outbound Kennedy. That road work at Harlem should pick up by 5 o'clock. Now, we do have a lot of road work on 355 overnight, additional lane closures. Southbound, they're working between Army Trail and North Avenue. They've got the 2 right lanes closed. And then they do have a couple lanes blocked off southbound between Butterfield and Ogden, and that is causing a delay right around I-88. They should have that picked up by 5 o'clock. Tanya and Jerome.
Ross, thank you so much. 448, this week is your chance to show your school spirit. And vote for your favorite Friday flyover.
Great ones to choose from. We visited 7 area high schools this season, and we showed you their football field formations from Chopper 7 HD. Roz visited with students at Kingland High School in Maple Park. The following week, Tracy took us to Marion Catholic of Chicago Heights. Have a look at their creations there. Voting is Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on our website and on our free news app.
And the school with the most votes will get this trophy right here. I'm going to show you the rest of the school stuff. But wait, remember that voting is on Thursday. Jump on that.
Highly coveted cookies.
Exactly. Take a quick break. We're back after this.
This week.
Okay, now, Robin, George, Michael, you all really think you can handle me? Come on now. You remember what happened last night?
Tiffany is back.
She ready. Here I come. Good morning, America with Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, y'all should change the name to that.
This is what $1 million lie sounds like.
I did not take any money from Michael Madigan.
Pages and pages of state election records say differently. Moylan has received more than $981,000 from Mike Madigan. Now you know why Marty Moylan can't contain his enthusiasm for Mike Madigan. If Marty Moylan lies to you and cheerleads for Mike Madigan, who do you think he serves?
We won't attempt to talk you out of your current car. A test drive will do the talking for us. The Volkswagen Drive to Decide event. Get a Volkswagen with America's best 6 years, 72,000 mile limited warranty. Right now, you can lease a 2018 Atlas 2.0 TS for just $239 a month, or get a $1,000 bonus.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message. Watch your team at 4. Rob Elkins, Judy Sue, Sports with Jim Rose, and meteorologist Larry Murray. ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 4.
I'm Sean Caston, and I approve this message.
After Isabel was born, she was diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis, a rare genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow throughout the vital organs. She can't do any of the things a normal kid her age does.
Peter Roscoe repeatedly attacked the law that protects Isabel and other Americans who have a pre-existing condition, voting against it 60 times.
Peter Roskin had 60 chances to do the right thing.
And he let us down every single time.
452 Fenway Park is getting ready for action. The World Series gets going tonight in Boston. Here we go. Big showing on two for the Red Sox and the Dodgers.
It's supposed to be about 50 degrees at first pitch, with temperatures dropping into the upper 40s. Bundle up if you're a spectator. After's Mark G. Ripple with the Morning Sports Wrap.
Good morning, everyone. So it's another Affirmation Monday for the Bears, with their cool-headed coach again telling his guys just clear the runway for the next opponent. But apparently some of them took him literally. Roquan Smith, Charles Leno, and Trey Burton working as a united tarmac crew yesterday, handling baggage and waving in those jets, hopefully having learned from their ill-fated flight with the first-class Patriots.
They've won a lot of ball games over a lot of different years, and they do it different ways. And that's what I think is special about that team. When you have a leader such as Tom on the field running the show, he makes everybody better. He makes everybody better. And so for Mitch, it's good for him to see that and to understand it, that we just keep pushing along, we keep staying positive. I'm happy with where this offense is. We can be better. Again, numbers don't matter. We got to get the wins, and we've lost 2 in a row now. So I've also said that adversity strikes, and you got to be able to be prepared to have a little peaks and valleys. We're in a valley right now, so we got to get out of the valley, and that's by having good people that work hard together, that stay positive, and just continue working hard.
Yeah, Falcons beat the Giants last night. The Bulls in Dallas last evening, and they're still looking for their first win of this brand new season. Chris Dunn making his debut following the birth of his baby. Second quarter, Zach LaVine going off again, step back 3 ball. They were up 2 at the break. In the third, DeAndre Jordan flies in. Look at Wendell Carter Jr. messing it up.
Forces it to go the other way. Done to Bobby Portis for the slam. Bobby at 12. Later it's Ty Levine crossover jam. Game high 34. Nothing but 30-plus games for him so far. But the Mavs take over in the fourth. Wesley Matthews all alone. He had 20. Bulls 0-3 now, losing 115-109. That's sports. I'm Mark G. and Greco.
Luna is the proud sponsor of closed captioning.
Update your floors with Luna's $50 room sale. Visit Luna.com or call 773-202. Luna.
A celebration of freedom.
There was a time when politics wasn't so divisive. The time when politicians actually worked together. The way politics are now, it doesn't have to be this way. I've worked in Congress to bring people together, regardless of party. That's the only way we improve healthcare, get dark money out of politics, and make Washington work again for the rest of us. I'm Brett Snyder, and I approve this message. Because working together shouldn't be a thing of the past.
My Malibu in gorgeous blue or charcoal, only $3.99. You can arrange it to fit your room. Is it a chaise or sofa? Chaise or sofa? It's a $3.99 sofa.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Every Illinois driver must have insurance. So if you're hurt in a car accident by a careless driver, it's their insurance company that will compensate you. That's what insurance is for. Call 888-MOM-AND-YES for a free consultation.
Hey, you wanted me to look at your furnace.
Thanks, Dad, but I called ABC Heating.
Oh, good. So it's done.
Sorry to hear your sink is still leaking.
Oh, I called ABC Plumbing.
Oh, it's done then. Consider it done with ABC. Our family's been available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for more than 65 years. Right now, get your ultimate furnace tune-up for just $89. Your basement light still flickering? Actually, I called ABC Electric. Ah, good, so it's done. ABC Plumbing, Sewer, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Consider it done.
The amount of money you get when you're injured in a vehicle accident depends upon who you call. Choose wisely. Choose Mom and Luck. Since 1994.
Call 888-MOM-AND-YES for a free consultation. MomandLaw.com.
Check out my Gracie sofa. It comes in 65, 72, 80, or 90 inches in navy or chocolate with Bob. It's your choice. Only $3.99.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Is it weird that I'm referring to myself in third person? A bit.
Download the new AccuWeather app from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Now at 5, gunfire on a busy expressway. We've just learned one person is dead.
Thousands of migrants are getting closer to the United States by the day when President Trump says we'll greet them at the border.
And the Mega Millions ticket now worth more than $1 billion. Do you have your ticket to win? News starts now.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now.
Here we go, 5 a.m. Tuesday morning. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Tanya Babbage. So happy to be with you. Have you played?
Yeah.
Is there an office pool I need to get into?
I think.
Is it too late?
No.
I've got a little bit of work to do.
I just don't know if everybody knows about that office pool. That's the thing. It's like a secret little.
Why? Why? All right, you and I have discussions to have right now. Let's go to meteorologist Tracy Butler. She'll take over from now.
Okay, I guess there's a secret.
Are you on it too?
Well, I think there's a bunch.
There's like 8 of them going on, you know?
Exactly. Why am I not in any of them?
I don't know. You need to be. Good morning. Because we all don't show up, Tanya. We don't want you to be alone. All right, well, good morning. The skies right now are mainly clear. 40 degrees in Elgin, 43 in Monique, 42 degrees in Crown Point, and 44 degrees right now in Skokie. So most of us are starting off with temperatures upper 30s, right around 40 degrees. I still think we might drop a couple more degrees this morning before we rebound into the lower 50s. Unfortunately, yes, not as nice and warm as it was yesterday, but lots of sun for us. Right now, we're looking at decent conditions on the expressways. There's the Kennedy, and they should have those reversibles open to inbound traffic anytime now. I'm squinting to see if they are, and it looks like they are, so that's all good news. We still have a few delays, though, on the outbound side of the Kennedy, right around Harlem. That's where they were doing all that overnight road work. Supposed to be picked up right now, so they may be
in the process of picking it up as we speak, but it's still quite slow. And we're just getting word of an issue on the CTA Green Line. They've suspended service between Harlem and Ridgeland because of police activity. We're working to see what exactly is happening. The rest of your 5 a.m. transit check, though, that looks good. No delays on any of the other agencies. Tanya Terrell.
Well, Roz, we want to go to this story off of I-57. We have a news update there. 3 people were shot. We now know that one of them has died.
Yeah, Jessica D'Onofrio was out live along the expressway this morning at Calumet Park. Jess, what do we know about this shooting?
Well, Terrell, troopers say the shooting is still under investigation this morning, and they have reopened all lanes of traffic here on I-57 behind me. Meanwhile, we have learned that one of the victims in this shooting has died. Now, last night at around 8 o'clock, a car on I-57 near 123rd Street came under fire. The car then veered off the road and struck a pole. 3 men were critically injured and taken to local hospitals. Again, we learned one has died, one is in critical condition, and one is now in serious condition. We also saw men being taken out of the car in handcuffs who appear to be okay. Illinois State Police spent hours canvassing the pavement on the interstate near South Suburban Calumet Park, looking for evidence and shell casings. So far, we have not been given any details about what may have led up to the shooting, but it's the second to close I-57 since last week. On Friday, a shooting led to the closure of all northbound lanes on I-57. At least a dozen shell casings littered the road as state police shut down nearly 10 blocks of the expressway to investigate a report of shots fired near the West Pullman neighborhood on the far south side. Meanwhile, troopers have not reported any arrests from last night's shooting. Reporting live near Calumet Park, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Parents in Southwest Suburban Lyons are demanding that 2 school superintendents resign following a teacher who was charged with attempted murder.
Shame on everybody.
There were some heated words at last night's school board meeting, and this comes just days after middle school teacher Andres Rodriguez was suspended with pay after it was revealed he was facing attempted murder charges in a road rage incident last year.
As the mayor of this community and as a father, I'm outraged by the failure of this school district.
I have every confidence in this board that they're going to do the right thing.
We want to assure you that the safety and security of our students is top priority.
The school district says it conducted a background check on Rodriguez, which turned up no red flags. Current law states that a teacher's license can be revoked for a crime, but only if there's a conviction. A local student has been charged with threatening a school shooting on social media. Lombard police say Jairus Castillo posted a threat to Instagram that was directed at his school, Lombard East. It was a photo of somebody else holding an AR-15 style rifle with a caption about a school shooting. 18-year-old Castillo is charged with a felony count of disorderly conduct.
501, this is me this morning. Mayor Rahm Emanuel unveiled his plans today to increase funding for the city's homeless by more than $1 million. The money will be used to support homeless residents living in camps on the streets. It'll also be used for services for homeless families making the transition to CHA housing. The mayor's office says the city's homeless population has declined over the past 3 years.
Today, hundreds of volunteers will comb the woods in Wisconsin near the home where a couple was murdered as they search for clues for the couple's missing daughter. It's been more than a week since 13-year-old Jamie Claus disappeared. Investigators say they've received more than 1,300 tips. Now police are searching for 2 cars that were seen near the family's home around the same time that Jamie's parents were murdered.
The first vehicle is likely a 2008 to 2014 Dodge Challenger, red or orange in color. The second vehicle is likely either a 2006 to 2010 Ford Edge Black or a 2004 to 2010
Investigators believe that Jamie was at home when her parents were shot and killed.
Migrants are on the move as we speak this morning on their marathon effort right now. Thousands of Central Americans are moving toward the U.S. border in search of a better life, but things could get dicey if they reach their destination. John Lawrence reports.
Roughly 7,000 migrants are in southern Mexico, marching north toward the U.S. However, there's a roadblock hundreds of miles ahead.
We got to stop them at the border.
In a series of tweets Monday, President Trump said he would declare a national emergency over the migrant caravans.
You're going to find them after you're going to find everything. And guess what? We're not allowing them.
We have 10 individuals suspected or known terrorists that try to enter our country illegally every day.
This is a problem that the president's been talking about for a long time, and certainly one he wants to see addressed.
There are no official reports that suggest Middle Easterners are in caravans. Critics say the president is overreacting.
He's making it sound like they're breaking through the border. This is hysteria on his part. Let him calm down and do what we were supposed to do.
Mr. Trump also says he'll reduce funds to 3 Central American countries because of the caravans.
And that aid that we do have helps them with law enforcement, drug interdiction, programs to help that population stay there. And cutting those programs indiscriminately, those benefit us as well.
John Lawrence, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Also of note, during a rally for Senator Ted Cruz last night in Houston, President Trump referred to himself as a nationalist.
We could learn today whether criminal charges will be filed against Indiana's Attorney General. A special prosecutor has been investigating sexual misconduct allegations against Curtis Hill and is making an announcement this morning. This comes after a months-long investigation by the state's inspector general. Hill is accused of groping 4 women, including a state representative and the Indianapolis bar. He denies the allegations and has refused to resign.
Evanston's proposed 2019 budget is calling for layoffs that could affect its police and fire departments. Among the proposed cuts is to close one of Evanston's 5 fire stations. There are also plans to eliminate 17 fire and police department jobs, and more fee increases are being suggested to fill a $7.4 million budget deficit. 5 past the hour. Want to be rich beyond your wildest dreams? All it takes is a winning ticket.
And a 1 in a billion chance.
Yeah.
Winning tonight's Mega Millions drawing is for more than $1.5 billion. Diane Matthew is high hopes. She joins us now from Wagner in Wabash. Diane, let me see that ticket.
Does it count if I have a stack this big at home of old tickets?
Not so much.
With the stack of tickets you purchased up to this point, because that's what it is at my house. So no, I have not yet gotten the winning ticket, but I will, and you should join me because over $1 billion is now up for grabs as this jackpot is on the rise once again. No one matched all 6 numbers for the Mega Millions Lotto last week, which means the jackpot is currently sitting at $1.6 billion, a world record, and that number could possibly go up. Expect that Lotto frenzy to continue over the weekend. Folks began buying their tickets for tonight's drawing. So what could you do with that kind of money? Well, here's something I would do. You could buy the Willis Tower, worth $1.3 billion, then rename it. Oh, I don't know. Whatever you want to rename it. We're talking not just Mega Millions, folks, but the Powerball as well. So here is the Powerball jackpot. Let me get this right. That drawing's on Wednesday. Jackpot estimated $620 million. There is a lot of money up for grabs. You just need to come and buy that winning ticket. Reporting live in the loop, Diane Matthew, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. What do you think, Matthew Tower?
Yeah, that's got to ring to me again.
Close to fears, mirrors.
You'd bring back Sears, wouldn't you? Of course. She is a Chicagoan through and through. Love you, Diane.
We'll see you soon. 7 past the hour, traffic. Hey, Tracy.
Well, good morning. Well, as we take a look at the rest of the week, good amount of sunshine here ahead of us. Very little precipitation expected. However, below average temperatures expected right into the weekend. Skies are nice and clear around the area this morning. 39 degrees right now in Woodstock, 42 degrees in Maryville, 43 right now in Crete, and 44 degrees currently in Oak Lawn. Today, bright and beautiful, not as mild as it was yesterday when we officially hit 64 degrees. Today will probably be up into the low to mid 50s for high temperatures. Tomorrow, it's going to be even a little cooler with most of the afternoon.
All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and in our morning so you can begin yours. Thanks for listening to WTPS in the morning. This is Josie Mabels, and we're going to sign off right now. Have a blessed day.